Hi, I'm Mckenzie Lockwood. I'm going for GRS surgery tomorrow, gender reassignment surgery, and I thought I would tell you a little bit about the different procedures and why I chose the method that I chose. The ones that I'm familiar with, excuse me, I'm not a doctor, but as much as I know, I'll try to quickly tell you. There's a zero-depth vagina, which is just as it says, it's non-functional, no maintenance. It aesthetically looks good, but non-functional. Then there is the inversion, the old-fashioned inversion, which turns the outside tissue inside, basically. It uses outside tissues. You have to remove the hair on the outside. If you miss any, you're going to have hair growth inside. Not something I like. Aesthetically looks good, tends to have depth issues. The vagina will not self-lubricate, and your body always sees it as a wound that's trying to heal, so requires frequent dilation to maintain your depth. Wasn't too thrilled with that. So then they have the colon technique. Colon is vascularized tissue, which means it has its own blood supply. There are no depth issues. The tissue inside is not smooth. It's a bit rough. Also must be checked as your colon gets checked for cancer because it's the same tissue. Big turnoff for me is that it has a bit of a nasty smell to it, which they say will go away in about a year or so, maybe. And it oozes. These are no-goes for me. So didn't want the colon. PPV, much better, I think. Has good depth, uses internal tissues, so no hair issues. It is self-lubricating, that's good. It uses a tissue that lines your abdomen. It requires about 4 hours of tissue harvesting time on top of your surgery time, so it's a long surgery. And I'm told has a fairly high revision rate. Numbers I heard were 40-50%. I'm not sure on that. It is a vascularized tissue, has its own blood supply, and that is good. But I chose the jejunum tissue, which is a tissue from the small intestine. It's an internal tissue, so there's no hair issues. There are no depth issues. It's self-lubricating. It's already in a tube shape, so it does not have to be constructed into the vaginal shape. It has a spiral muscle for contraction that none of the others have. It has a shorter surgery than the PPV. It's generally done as a free graft, which is taking tissue from one part of your body and putting it to another, which generally takes about 3 days for it to acquire its own blood supply. We're going to try something different this time. It's never been done. We're going to try to move the jejunum tissue and keep its blood supply intact and put it in its new location. So if this works, no problem with necrosis risk, and I will be able to get out of bed in a day instead of 3 days. Yay! So really hoping this works. If it doesn't work, then we're back to the old free graft technique, which is still good. So it just means I'll have to stay in bed for 3 days instead of 1. One other big issue for me with the jejunum tissue, it's probably one of the lowest maintenance procedures, and by that I mean requires less dilation than other methods. Like I work full time, so if I go to work, I can work all day and not have to stop in the middle of my day and dilate. Doesn't sound like a big thing to many, but maybe it's a big thing to me. So I choose the jejunum, and this time tomorrow, I'll have it.